Hi, everybody. I'm Sophie from Sophie Orozco Coaching. In this video today, I want to talk about what to do if you feel triggered in your relationship and you end up in a dynamic where there's a trigger, you're yelling, you're screaming, and you're back in the same dynamic cycle of fighting. And it doesn't feel like you get out of that cycle of fighting in your relationship. So listen up. I totally understand. I used to have this in my marriage too, where there was a trigger and a response. And before we knew it, we're all the way in this huge blowout fight. And we're looking at each other and thinking, like, how did this even happen? So before I go into 3 ways that you can stop and break the cycle, I want you to hit the subscribe button below. I release a video at least once a week, and I really go into all things relationship and how to heal and improve your relationship. All right, so listen up. If you have a cycle of fighting, right, and there's a trigger response in you, and you feel like something gets triggered, and then you're yelling and screaming, and you don't even know how it came to be that you got into this place, listen up. So I want you to think about it like this, right? We get a trigger from the outside world. It can be anything. It can be something your spouse does or says. It can be, being cut off in traffic. It can be something your boss says, and it lights this reaction up inside of you, right? And you get this surge of energy through the body. For me, in the past, it would feel like my heart was racing really fast. It would feel like my stomach kind of dropped out. And I felt like I didn't have the control over what I was going to say next. And so this is where it's really important, and what I really help my clients to slow it down, because when we want to get out of a reaction cycle, we have to almost make it go into slow motion so that we can bring awareness to each stage of the cycle that we're in. So the first thing is trigger, right? It's coming from the outside world. It's something someone says or does, and it's something outside of us. Right? Then the next thing is it's a thought, like something quickly comes into our mind. And it can be, he doesn't care about me. It can be, I'm all alone. It can be, I'm unsafe, right? So it's usually, this is all really fast when you're in that cycle process. You might even not be aware of the thoughts as they come up. And this is why I want you to slow it down. Think about, what thought just came into my mind, right? And you might need to have some strategies to slow it down. And in another video, I'll do different strategies that you can have to slow this whole process down. But when you have that reaction and it comes into your field, right, I want you to think about, what is the first thought that comes to my mind? And then what is the physical sensation, right? Because you might not right away be able to stop it at the thought level. You might get to the physical sensation level first, right? So maybe thought, I'm going to be abandoned. I'm going to be left. They don't love me. I'm all alone. I'm not enough. I'm not safe, right? Some of these are the common thoughts that we have. And then the feelings can be like your heart is beating really fast, right? Your peripheral vision might narrow down if you're really activated. Your stomach might churn, right? The blood essentially is going from your extremities into the center of your body, right? Your heart is beating because you're getting into that fight or flight reaction, right? Your body is ready to leave, right? To flight, or it's getting ready to bite. Or some people have the freeze fawn response. Most of my clients tend to have the fight or flight response. I know for me, I'm very much flight. Very much flight. I get anxious and I just want to leave. But whereas my husband is more of a fight, right? So the physical sensations, the heart beating really fast, maybe your hands going cold or sweaty, right? Maybe the peripheral vision is narrowing down. And this is where we want to stop it, right? If we can't stop it at the thoughts, which is the first one, we want to try and stop it at the physical, on the physical level, and sit with the feeling. And it's so freaking uncomfortable to be at this stage where like your heart's pounding, but you're not acting on it, right? You're not acting on it from that space. And these are things that you can do. You can go for a walk, you can tap, right? In my course, we do it. We have a lot of emotional freedom technique. You can tap here on your collarbone. You can go through the whole cycle of tapping, but if you're right in the moment, you could even just tap on the side of your wrist, or you can tap here. You can splash cold water on your face, right? We want to like interrupt this pattern. We want to interrupt it before it gets to the reaction, which is what comes out of your mouth. You know, we want to stop it before we send the mean text, before we say the mean thing. And actually, the more you can stay in uncomfortable feeling and release it from this level, your brain, your body is going to recognize that next time we are going to slow this stage down. And then eventually you'll be able to get to the place where the thought coming in, you'll be able to challenge that thought. So say something happens, your husband comes home and gives you a mean look or something like that, or is in a bad mood and says something, instead of a thought like, oh, he's always in a bad mood, or he doesn't care about me, or he doesn't know what sort of a day that I've had, right? Eventually at that thought level, you're going to be able to stop that thought and challenge that thought before you even get to the feeling stage. And so these are the ways that we're going to slowly start to interrupt the pattern of trigger, thought, feeling, response, outcome, right? Because that's the way it works. It's the outside trigger, it's the inside thought, it's the feeling that we have, it's the thing that we say or the way that we behave, and then we get led to an outcome. And it's a cycle. And so we can stop this at various different stages. And the good thing is that you can stop it. And I think that some people have the belief like, why should I, right? The trigger should stop. But actually, we can't control every single trigger that we have in the outside world. There's always going to be that contrast. There's always going to be things that come up. But we do get to choose how we respond to them and the outcomes that we see in our life. And the more that we can take responsibility for our thought, feeling, reaction, the more that we're going to end up with ultimate control over the outcomes in our life. All right, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video, and we'll dive into more things, how to improve your relationships, how to take you from unhappy to happy, how to take you from failing to thriving. My name's Sophie Orozco. If you want more information on how to work with me, you can hit any of the links below, or you can head over to Instagram and message me there. Have a wonderful day, you guys. See you later. Bye.